Hi everybody, my name is Tara Vu, and today I wanted to talk to you about header files in C programming. So today's outline for this presentation is I'm first going to go over the basic definitions of header files. I then want to go over the important things to understand about header files, how to build a header file. I will then go into a live demonstration of a program or a live demonstration of a program using a header file, as well as some key takeaways from this presentation. So a few things about a header file first. So a header file is a file with the extension .h. If you are familiar with C programming, you do know that a lot of your files or most of your files are source files that end with .c. In this case, a header file, the way to distinguish it is by using the extension .h. These files contain C function declarations and macro definitions to be shared between several source files. Generally, they are used to define all of the functions, variables, and constants contained in any function library that you might want to use. So there are two types of header files. The first type is the file that the programmer themselves writes. The second type is the files that come with your compiler. So within your compiler, there are many different types of header files that are available for you to use. One that most people who code in C do use and know is stdio.h. Within that header file, there are many functions. Some of the most commonly used are the input-output functions like printf and scanf, if you are familiar with C. So how to use a header file. You want to request the use of a header file by using the C preprocessing directive #include. For those familiar with C, it's like when you #include stdio.h at the top of your main program. There are also two forms of this include statement. The first form is the #include with, I guess, the bracket, like the caret bracket file name. Those are used for the system header files. That statement essentially searches for a file named file in a standard list of system directories. On the right side, you'll see the #include in double quotes file. This is used for header files of your own program. So this is used for programs or header files that you write yourself. What this statement does is it searches for a file named file, in this case, in the directory that is containing that current file. So the double quotation marks are used to instruct the preprocessor to look into the current folder and into the standard folder of all the header files if it's not found in your current folder that you are in. So now I guess what we'll do is we will go into a live demonstration. So on this home screen, what I'll do is I have here in presentation 2 folder, I have my main file .c file here. Like I said before, the .c, that's what we're all used to writing in. Within this file, I have my #include stdio.h within those caret brackets. That essentially imports the stdio header file for me to use this printf statement. And then I have #include header file.h within the double quotation marks. This essentially extends over to the header file.h file where I can use whatever functions are within that file. So let me go ahead and open up that file. And then I'll drag it in here. So you'll see within this header file, I have these two functions, add and multiply, just like in main, I had called those two functions. Within add and multiply, I pass through two integer variables, and then I essentially print f the sum of those two integers, and then I print f the product of those two integers here. You will see that when I do demonstrate this or run the code, it will first run this add function, print out whatever is added, go back, run the multiply function, go into this header file, multiply these two numbers, print it, and then it will print f this great job, where you will know that the program has finished executing. So let me go ahead and run this. So I'm going to go into my terminal, and then I'm going to cd you will see that my header file and my main file are in that current directory. I'll go ahead and compile this. Compiled fine, and then we will run it. So here you will see that it ran perfectly. You will see that it printed out the added value is 12. 3 plus 9 is 12. The multiplied value is 16. 4 times 4 is 16. And then it also printed out that last great job statement to show that it executed perfectly. So if I were to go in and essentially take out this pound include header file .h statement here and run it, let's go ahead and see what that does. You will see that it did generate two errors. You will see that the add function and the multiply function were not found since we did not include that header file here. It works exactly the way as if I were to take out include stdio.h, because that printf function is declared within that stdio header file. I wouldn't be able to use it. So it is imperative to make sure that you do include those header files that you need to use and reference throughout your programs. Otherwise, that stuff will not run. So you can see that I did re-add it and it ran perfect. So if we go back to our presentation here, some important and key takeaways from this demonstration, you will see that header files are a convenience to make programming easier. They aren't meant to complicate things. They're simply just meant for you to declare things to help you keep, I guess, all your eggs in one basket, have your ducks all lined up in a row, just so that you know what functions you are using, what you need to go back and reference, and what you need to use in the future. Another key takeaway is that the pound symbol at the start indicates that it isn't a C statement, but rather one for the C preprocessor to look at the text file before the compiler gets it. It is imperative to have that pound symbol at the beginning just so that you know that you can include those header files. The creation of header files are generally needed while writing large C programs so that modules can share function definitions, prototypes, and more. When you do take on a big task or a big project, you will be writing multiple C programs, and header files are there to simplify and help you reference all of your functions within one file. It is also important to put only what is necessary and keep the header file concise. In the live demonstration or program that I ran with you, there were functions within that header file. It's not exactly recommended to put function definitions in a header file. Ideally, you only want function declarations, but for this demonstration's purpose, I did have functions in there to demonstrate how header files exactly work. These are a few of the links that I use to reference throughout my presentation. Feel free to click through any of the sources when you have free time. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me. Otherwise, thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.